The world might feel a bit more chaotic and a bit more divided. It's easy to forget sometimes that there are constants. Your home's still your home, your family's still your family, and all the structures of our society are still there to look after you if you need it.
Here we go. George's resource.
Adult male, code red trauma, 10 minutes.
Activate the helipad.
There's been an explosion on a building site.
Heart rate 200.
Open your eyes, open your eyes.
Imagine having to work here.
Hello, Annie, can I help?
St George's, London.
It's all gonna kick off now.
One of Britain's busiest A&E departments.
Are we ready to roll?
Carry on CPR.
Oh, goodness me, it's all happening, isn't it?
We need to fix that, or you won't survive.
Is it?
A place where life,
Would you say I was fit, Doctor? Honestly, I think I'm quite fit.
love,
You are my everything. I love you, and it's okay.
and loss
Oh, Mum. I'm so sorry.
unfold every single day.
For every bad thing that you see, there is something equally wonderful out there.
Filmed across one 24-hour period, these are the stories of a nation and its health service.
I thought I was going to die.
You're definitely not going to die. You've got too many good doctors and nurses here.
When people experience really significant illness or injuries, we see people pull together, we see relationships get stronger, and we see people reflect on what really is the most important things in their life.
Whatever happens, it's going to be okay.
I love you.
Love you too.
As a junior doctor, when I walk into work every day, I get that nervous excitement. It still feels slightly unreal. Taking a step up into resus is a daunting experience because people's eyes are on you. Is it going to be something that I'm not sure about or I've never experienced before? Because things are so time critical, it's nerve-wracking for anyone, but for someone junior, it is pretty anxiety-inducing.
St George's Resus. Is that CCAM?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Is that trauma or priority medical? So blood pressure is 97/71, GCS is 15. See you in 10 to 15. Take care. Bye.
A 23-year-old motorcyclist is being rushed to St George's after hitting a lamppost at high speed.
Adult trauma call A&E Resus ETA 10 to 15.
Junior Dr. Silas is starting his first ever shift in resus.
I'm really nervous when a trauma patient comes in because I might not have seen some of the severity of injuries before.
He's got right-sided abdo guarding, right lumbar spine swelling.
But we'll get a fast scan in the cubicle to do that.
Consultant Will is leading the trauma team.
Motorcyclists, if they hit something, can injure their heads, even with the helmet on. Oftentimes they hit their chests and they can have fairly massive chest injuries.
That's a bit worrying.
They can break their fingers, their wrists, their forearms. Pretty much any part of a motorcyclist is fair game, unfortunately.
The man's parents are on their way to the hospital.
Been a normal night. I'd gone off to bed. My youngest son burst into our bedroom. I kind of instantly woke up and said, "Look, what's happened?" And he said, "Tom's had an accident on his bike." Instantly, we were in the car and gone up to the hospital as fast as possible.
Stand well clear. Vehicle reversing. Stand
Cool, all right, everybody quiet in front of the handover.
Are we all ready? So this is Tommy, the 23-year-old man who's normally fit and well. At 21:30 today, he was riding his motorbike about 50 miles an hour when he struck a lamppost and came off into the bushes. Was witnessed by his friend who was following behind. No apparent LOC, but unable to move much from the scene. When we found him, he was on his left side, and lots of pain in his lower right back. Stripped him off. He had significant swelling to his lower right lumbar region. Abdomen is very guarded and very tender, and some shortness of breath as well. Lots of pain still in his lower right back.
Cool.
That's where we are so far.
Brilliant, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Right, let's get him off the scoop, please. Let's swap those blocks for a collar. And then if we have the primary survey and the ultrasound at the same time, scoop's cracked at the bottom.
Great.
Brilliant. Now if we crack on, primary survey and ultrasound.
Airways patent, trachea central.
Get stuck in with that ultrasound. Let's see what we've got.
Ultrasound in trauma is a useful tool. You can have a look inside their abdomen for any free fluid. In the context of trauma, that fluid is likely to be blood.
He's going to go for a CT. His ultrasound wasn't very good.
First thing to remember is that everybody stops bleeding eventually. But if somebody is bleeding badly, they might stop bleeding because they're finished bleeding, in which case you die.
Let's go.
Your mind runs to the worst possibility. I was very anxious about what we would find when we got to the hospital.
What happened?
Motorbike. Lost it at 50 miles an hour, went into a lamppost.
23-year-old Thomas needs an urgent CT scan after hitting a lamppost at high speed.
So we're just going to scan your head and neck first, then we're going to do a scan of your body. All right, just keep your head really still.
He might have a spinal injury. He might have a pelvic injury. He's got a lot of pain in his pelvis. That flank pain could be a big kidney injury.
Breathe in and hold your breath.
Thomas's parents are rushing to St George's to be by his side.
I always wanted a family. Well, as it turns out, conceiving Tom was not an easy issue for us, and we spent about 8 and a bit years doing that.
Breathe normally.
The problem is you just get wrecked every month, don't you? Because you hope that this will be it, and it's not.
Just going to scan your body as well, Thomas. Where's your pain mostly? In your back. Are your shoulders all right?
Yeah. I remember being sat after having some tests with the doctor, and they say things like, well, I just want you to know that 80% of your stuff isn't working properly. You think, oh dear me, it's me. And they go, oh, but that's normal. You think, oh, okay.
So we're going to give you an injection of X-ray dye for this scan. It's going to feel pretty warm as it goes in, OK? That's completely normal.
Nicky trotted in one morning with that little stick with a little blue line, waved it at me, and Tom had been conceived.
I'm just going to try and pop this arm above the head. We'll just take it real slowly. Good stuff. We'll get this done as quick as possible, all right?
The whole of the labour, he was back to front. I think the midwife had tried to turn him a number of times, but he wasn't having any of it. He ran quite a high heart rate, which is another sign of distress. I think they decided to drag him out, and literally they had one foot on the end of the bed and the other foot on the forceps round his head.
When Tom was first delivered, he looked bruised and battered. His face was swollen, and of course they whisked him off very quickly to the special baby care unit. It wasn't until 24 hours later, when he was out of all of that I began to make that connection. This is my son, you know, it's time for me to become a dad. My biggest goal was just not to replicate the mistakes of my father.
Oh, look at that. That's where he's hit the lamppost. So all the energy's gone into his back.
Well done, mate, well done. Just take it nice and slow, there's no rush.
He's got multiple spinal fractures, so we'll give the neurosurgeons a shout. He's got a big hematoma around the kidney.
Nice deep breath.
The more blood you lose, the more trouble for that patient.
I'll get you some painkillers, okay? Soon after we get into the department.
They can develop multi-organ failure from the cascade of responses that your body has to that bleeding not being controlled.
Thomas, I know you're in pain. Try to relax, okay? We're gonna give you something for the pain, okay?
Do you know where CDU2 is? No, I'm Silas. You know I am. I know I'm so not memorable. I'll often get, so how old are you? Or, are you sure you're a doctor? And I think that, the answer to that is that I'm going to be the only doctor looking after them today, so... I'm Silas, one of the doctors, okay?
Okay.
Nice to meet you. You hope that your confidence and your abilities come through your lack of facial hair. All right, so we're just going to take some blood samples, okay? I grew up in South London, probably about 10 minutes walk from St George's Hospital.
What are you doing now?
Doing here?
Yeah.
Well, I have to put spaces when I do these little discharge things. That's my version of doing it. When I was about 16 or 17, my dad was in a cycling accident. He fell off his bike and broke his hip. And so he got brought in by ambulance, and remember getting that call after coming back from secondary school saying Dad's in St George's A&E, and he had to have kind of quite an emergency operation. Bear in mind, I'd never been in resus before, and then this is what confronts me. I think the weird thing was my fascination with the whole thing. I actually quite enjoyed being there after the initial scare. I liked the hustle and bustle of it. At that point, my parents probably thought, this is something that you quite like. Hey, yeah, you're right. I don't think I'll feel like a proper doctor for a while. Am I the only doctor here?
I think so. You got this, Silas. You can do it.
Hi.
Little in-house trauma.
Yeah, I will. In-house trauma.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so this is Rafa. He was riding a motorbike when actively braking to avoid the car in front of him. The car behind has hit him. He's complaining of some C-spine tenderness. He's also complaining of pain in his right thumb and right knee.
Right knee, you said?
Yeah, right knee and right thumb.
Okay. Cool. I think we have to scan C-spine, but...
See what Will thinks.
Yeah. I will. We'll run it by Will.
When you're new and you come into an environment like a busy resus room where you have some really sick patients, you can sometimes be overwhelmed.
He's hemodynamically stable.
Would you roll somebody to check their C-spine?
And that's a level of risk and uncertainty that for some people is just unacceptable.
Just CT.
Yeah, I suppose that was my question, was going to be whether we CT it or not.
They CT his head and neck.
Sometimes you do have to step in. It's a balancing act between letting people find their own way, doing things in their own time, but at the same time you need to be aware of each patient.
To a CT head and neck, plain x-rays of thumb and knee. Can we get you covered up so you don't get too cold, yeah?
It's a tricky skill. It's probably one I'm still learning.
I'll book scans, I'll document everything.
We've got to see the doctor. You're going to put it in the machine?
Where's that?
Remember to put it on the black bit at the top. Yeah, good one, Sonny.
2-year-old Sonny has come to A&E with his mum after falling face first onto concrete.
Oh.
Sonny's adventurous, definitely.
Mum, come on. Come. That pound, Mum.
Let's play?
Yeah.
All right, then. He likes climbing on anything. This is how he hurt himself, climbing. Come this way, you. There's not a dinner time goes by when he's sat in the chair for the whole time. He'll try things. He's confident. Oh, he hasn't had a drink for at least 30 seconds. Wait for Mummy, Sonny. It's a busy house. He's got lots of siblings. There's 8 of us, if you include my husband in the family and myself, and then we've 6 children that range from 18, 16, 14, 10, 7... Oh, gosh, this is when you know you've had too many, because you forget. Oh, and Sonny, who's 2. I think that's all of them. Uh-oh, he's had an idea. What are you doing up here? To press the button to go out. You are too clever. As much as he's very able and very confident, he does have a fair share of accidents.
You
mustn't kiss on the lips, though, because she's been sick. He came out with his dinner and I was chatting happily with the neighbour and I saw him put his dinner down, which at that point was my main concern. I thought I was not going to drop the plate and smash the plate. He then climbed on the wall beside me. Oh, no, don't go in there. Come on, let's sit down for a little bit. Mummy's worn out. He took hold of the railings on top and then just flipped over. He landed on his head and his neck bent sort of forward and back. It didn't look good. And my husband just looked and he said, no, you definitely need to take him to hospital. Although I didn't feel great about going back to St George's. My son was in here a month ago. Well, yeah, 4 weeks ago. He just turned 16. I don't think I'm a particularly protective parent. I give my kids a lot of freedom. I've always said, providing you're not involved in gangs and not involved in drugs, you'll be fine. But unfortunately, that was not to be the case. But 4 boys on mopeds or with balaclavas, so it's awful. Sonny's teenage brother was brutally attacked by a gang. He was helpless. And that changed my outlook completely.
Tom, I'm gonna give you some more morphine, okay?
Thank you.
Thomas is awaiting the results of a CT scan after suffering abdominal injuries and multiple fractures in a high-speed motorbike accident.
Hi, Tom.
Hey.
You all right?
Yeah, you okay?
Yeah, my name's Joan. I'm one of the nurses. A couple of things to tell you. We're just slowly gathering all the information. So we'll get the neurosurgical doctors to give us an opinion on what we need to do about your back. And then we need the urology doctors to give us some advice about what to do for your kidneys. Your dad's phoned, okay?
That's not good.
No, it's fine, it's fine. It's normal in these situations.
He's going to tell me off.
Who, Dad? Is he?
Yeah.
Why?
I only got the motorbike today.
Oh, no! Is the motorbike in bits?
I don't even want to think about it.
But you're not in bits.
Fine.
Which is good.
That's good.
Can I do anything else for you just now?
No.
All right, love. We're right here if you need anything, and I'll let your dad in as soon as he gets here.
Thomas's dad, Steve, his mother, Nikki, and his brother, Sam, have arrived at St George's.
Are you Thomas's father?
I am, yes.
My name's Joan. I am the nurse in charge of resus this evening. He's had a scan. We are concerned that he may have some back injuries. He's conscious. He just, I think, needs you guys in there. Come and see him. I think that'll help you if you come and see him.
You're right. Yes, thank you for coming. Absolutely. Of course. Of course we had to come, don't be silly.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Don't worry about that. The most important thing is just to, we've got to get you sorted first.
Yeah.
Around about 7 days after Tom was born, it was just that sense of being able to go home and begin to do normal life. And I made decisions that I didn't want to be anything like my father.
I think I hit the post more than the bike hit the post.
What kind of post was it?
I can't remember.
I grew up in a small market town in the north of England called Barnard Castle, or as people call it there, Mardy. My father, whom I loved, didn't quite know what the deal was when it came to raising children necessarily. I'm not really sure he knew what the deal was in being a husband either.
How is it? Is it overwhelming, all of it? I'm just disappointed in myself.
Oh, well.
Accidents happen.
Forget about that for the moment.
Don't even worry about it.
If my father wasn't working, he was up at his local club. He used to drink quite a bit, and if he didn't like the way things were going sometimes, then his way of dealing with that would be to lash out. There was times when he was physical towards my mother, he was physical towards myself. That would result in, sometimes people getting hurt. Obviously, bashed your kidney.
Yeah.
I was very aware that there was anger within me, a sense of wanting to almost at times make my father pay for some of the things that he did. If you need to sleep, just sleep. And I think that culminated at one point. I remember being in the kitchen and he came in and he was not happy about something, and I was washing up at the time. And I turned round, with a knife in my hand. And I realized in that moment, that I could either go one way, and continue to let this anger and bitterness build in me, or I could make a decision just to let it go. It was a seminal moment where I just said, I don't need to be like this, and I don't need to be ruled by this, and I don't need to have my future affected by this. The problem was, as I disconnected from my family, there was a sense of feeling lost. I was looking for somebody, I suppose, or something that kind of understood me.
You all right? You cold? Why are you shivering?
Let me see you again.
Hi, Will, it's Joan. Thomas, our trauma chappie in resus 6. I'm quite worried about him. He's at such high risk for A, losing his kidney, and B, getting extremely unwell.
You need to move, Dad.
We need to keep quite a close eye on him. Silas, is this gentleman in scan?
He's just coming through, so yeah, he must be on his way out now.
So he's...
Whenever I'm performing something for the first time, I would have liked to, I would have definitely seen it been done before. I really should have done it on kind of in a simulated environment, but it's always different in real life. The responsibility that I have has big consequences. Hello, sir.
Hi.
How are you?
I have a pen now about these things here.
Yeah, it's annoying being on, isn't it? I just want to do a couple of tests. Follow my finger with your eyes. Any double vision?
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, obviously it's a big accident. Your role is to assess, but also always to ask for help. That CT's back well.
Cool, let's have a look.
The fact that I have someone with a wealth of experience who's there available 24 hours a day means that the only real mistake I could make is to not use them. So when you're looking at these, do you look at anterior and middle and posterior columns, basically? Is that... I'm not good at... I haven't really learned C-Spinex.
Oh, my first time in resus. So I kind of got the bug for A&E quite early. When I was at medical school, I did my elective in an emergency department in New York, which, you know, was busy. And I saw some things that, you know, you're probably not going to see here. I saw lots of people who'd been shot. That was, you know, that was quite eye-opening.
What you get to do is you can inspect all of the bones in all of their outlines, all the way through.
There was something about how quickly everything needed to happen, just how sick some of those people were, and that they needed something doing right now. That just fired me up. I just kind of fell in love with it a little bit.
That's not a fracture.
So it all looks pretty good.
It's fine.
In a cafe, there's a sign, right? And so it's, you know, it's on the internet, and it says there is no Wi-Fi in this cafe. Pretend it's 1995 and talk to each other. Me and Dad, when we were teenagers, we had to talk to people. We didn't have phones and internet.
It's like you, Charlie. Now you're older.
We had to have conversations.
But I don't.
Hello. Apparently we're next. We might be called in a sec.
Sonny.
Oh, this is our turn. Here, we're here. I'll see you in a minute, yeah? I'll ring you on the way home if you want. Bye. Bye.
2-year-old Sonny is being seen by a doctor after falling off a wall.
My name's Carl, one of the doctors.
Hi.
How's Sonny doing?
He's all right. This is where he bumps his head up there.
Yeah, tell me what happened.
So, basically, we have, like, bricks up to about here.
Yep.
And then there's, like, this irony sort of thing along the top.
Yep.
So he climbed up on the bricks. He wants milk. He's still breastfeeding. And he toppled over, but obviously he hit his head on the concrete.
So prior to today, Sonny fitting well? Any problems he has?
No problems.
Any medications he takes regularly?
No. The only thing that has happened is his brother got stabbed and he didn't see me for almost a week. So he's got really clingy, completely unprovoked.
Yeah.
And he was fine before that, but he's got breastfeeding more and just gone all clingy.
Yeah.
Like when I go out, he gets really upset.
Poor chap. OK, all right. I'll let him finish having a feed and we'll have a proper look at him, OK?
On the date, Sonny's brother was stabbed. I had gone with my husband to a caravan site on the southeast coast. We'd taken the 4 younger children, but Sonny's brother decided to stay back at home. First time ever he'd said he would stay back. I must admit, I thought, oh, I wish he was coming, because he always makes me laugh. He always makes it a bit more joyful. But quite often, the most valuable lessons we learn is from ourselves and from making our own mistakes. So I think that's part of the reason to give them their freedom.
All right. Shall we have a look at him? That's early.
I knew Sonny's teenage brother had plans to go out on his bike.
There we go.
He's crazy about his bike. He was going to go up to London, big group of them, cycle around, do a few tricks, and then come back.
Is that sore? He's letting me touch that, hasn't he?
At the campsite, the kids had been really happy running around. And, you know, the night was drawing in, and I thought, let's get to bed at a sensible time, because then we can do something nice tomorrow. I couldn't sleep. And my husband was saying to me, why can't you sleep? I was like, I don't know.
He's been moving his head freely, hasn't he?
Yeah. I put some lavender oil in the burner, which is my thing, and tried to settle again. And then we had a phone call.
Where's my torch gone? Here it is. Just look in your eyes. Here we go, mister.
Basically, it was a police officer that said, your son's been stabbed. And I said, oh my goodness. I said, where? And the moment they said it's through his back, my legs gave way.
Let's see if you sit you up. We're going to get you back. Wow, good boy.
Look at you, big, strong Sonny. I made my way to St George's and I sent a text message saying, hang on, baby, I'm on my way. Just hang on for me. And then I thought maybe when I get there I can give him a bit more power to kind of keep holding on.
All right, there we go. You can put your arms back in there.
He was in a bad way by the time I got there.
So listen to you.
He had the drain out of his chest cavity, just full of his blood. And they were infusing blood as quickly as he was losing it.
Should look at your knees as well. Here we go.
And I looked at him and I thought, you're so helpless. You were riding your bike like an hour ago.
A few little grazes, but nothing else.
Bizarre thing was that earlier on in the day, he'd been out the front with Sonny and they were chalking on the pavement and he was helping them do pictures. The point where he eventually collapsed the night it happened was in his own chalk drawings. It was just so surreal.
Obviously,
but he's behaving fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to go and check with my boss, just because of how high it was.
Yeah.
I'm just going to see, just to make sure they're happy for us not to do any scans or images or anything at all, OK?
Yeah,
all right?
You're just thinking, I hope he lives, I hope he lives. I want him to stay alive. He didn't deserve this, how's this happened?
Oh, I watched that Toe Bro yesterday. It's this programme, this doctor deals with all feet problems.
No.
It makes you feel a bit cringy when he takes the toenails off.
That's one thing I can't handle is nails.
Oh, and you hear the crunching. Oh.
OK. St George's A&E.
Oh.
Where is it?
My lower back.
Thomas has spinal fractures, a ruptured kidney, and internal bleeding. Doctors are worried that his condition is deteriorating.
Basically, the laceration is so bad, the urine is leaking to his back.
He's going to get more poorly, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Which is why I want him to have an ITU bed.
The medical team now have the full report of Thomas's CT scan.
The neurosurgeons have come back with your report to say that there's nothing that they need to do for your spine tonight. They're just going to manage the fractures conservatively. I think at the minute the concern for me is the kidney, okay? And that's kind of what I want to get answers about.
Yeah. Perfect, thank you.
All right. Right, lovely. Going to take this collar off to start with. Okay. And we're going to just find out about sitting you up, but we haven't got that information at the minute. All right.
Thank you.
No, it's fine.
I think there is an element of wanting to get it right with my own children that did come out of my disappointments with my own father. As I disconnected from my family, I found connection in other places. My life changed around 13, 14. A youth group that met in the town was talked about in the local school that I attended. It was your typical youth group thing, you know, you played some games, ran around, burnt some energy off, and then towards the end of that, somebody would get up and, in this case, would talk about the Christian faith. There was just something about it that captivated me. It was just a place where they just talked to you as if you mattered.
My mouse really try again.
And I remember praying a prayer. It was a very simple prayer. And I remember getting up and thinking, that's it, I'm a Christian. It was quite a healing experience. What changed for me in those moments was a sense that this sort of anger that I'd experienced towards my father just seemed to dissipate away. It was kind of like, I accept you, not just as my father, but as a fellow human being.
I'm so sorry you guys are here so late.
I wanted Tom's upbringing to be different from mine in the sense that I wanted him to grow up secure, with that sense of support and love, to have a home that he could call his home and not have to find that connection somewhere else. I'm feeling less pain.
At the moment.
Okay. We're probably going to go and get some sleep and return in the morning.
Okay. I'm so sorry again.
Yes. Most important thing is that you are okay. I try and tell my children that I love them, that I'm proud of them, because I never heard those words from my own father. All right, we'll be back in the morning, okay?
I love you a lot.
I love you too.
Thank you for looking after me.
Well, they're looking after you, really.
Just emotionally.
Tom told me once, and I was very moved to tears, that I was a hero for his life, and that was something, it meant something deep to me. We'll see you later, all right?
Love you.
All right. My hope for him is that he will move forward in life and be more than I've been. And I would like to think above all that he knows he has a father who loves him and is proud of him.
There you are.
Thomas will be sent to an intensive care ward where specialist doctors will work on his acute injuries.
Do you know where like kind of soft pour dressings are?
Yeah, they should be in the
I don't think everyone's cut out for working in A&E. I didn't really think I would be. But then when you put your scrub top on and you're seeing a patient, I know that this person has come for my help and I have a duty to them to give them everything that I can. Hello, sir. So we've scanned your neck and we've looked all the way up to the head into the skull. There's no fractures or damage there. Every day at work, you learn something totally new. Adding that kind of tiny string to your bow, you start to kind of look back and say, wow, I've actually developed quite a bit in that period of time. As such, we can take it off now. In the high kind of pressure environment of A&E, I'd like to think that I listened. Well done, put your head back. And I'm caring. Your neck's feeling a bit better, is it?
Yeah.
Good, all right. And also, I hope, kind of competent. Do you have any other questions?
I need some jump or some shirt because they cut my one.
Yeah, that's a good point. We will, we'll find you something. We have a stock of something. Yeah. All right.
Resus for me is rewarding because I get to look after some really sick people.
So let's get her chest decompressed and do that first.
And there's something about that. And if you're entirely honest, the fact that it's quite high stakes, that makes it appealing.
We're going to go all the way over. 1, 2, 3. Well done.
I think the way the world treats a person is often out of that person's control. And the way that you deal with that depends on you as a person and depends on the support networks you have around you. A big part of that support network is your family. When the chips are down, when you really need somebody, your family will be there. Your family will be somebody you can rely on.
Daddy said, "Are you okay?" Shall I say yeah? Sonny's older brother was a magical kid, and I never had to worry about him. Oh, you're tired too. Shall I say to Daddy we're tired? He'd always gone to school, he'd always got good grades, he'd never been in any trouble with the police. He was just one of these kids that didn't even seem to need that much guidance. He was always making things, whether it be a joystick holder for me or a toy for the kids. He loved doing things with his hands.
Yeah, come on, Mum.
Oh my God, I'm too, my buddy. In hospital that night, I got a bigger picture of what had gone on and just how brutal the attack had been.
Oh, I know what I can do, Sonny. Whilst we're waiting for the other man to look at you, I'm going to show you this book.
My son noticed a group of lads on a moped. They chased him and managed to corner him up against a sort of communal entrance to a block of flats.
Let's mess his beard up. Let's make it really fluffy.
They jumped off and said nothing, but just started stabbing. Everybody in the block of flats heard the screaming. I just couldn't believe that somebody had put a knife through his back. I had asked the surgeon, I said, "We'll make it if you operate, right?" And he said, "I can only do my best." I just knew that bleeding needed to stop, otherwise he was going to die.
So sorry for the long wait. The boss got caught up in recess. I discussed everything with him. I think we're happy for him to go home. I think we're safe in terms of the head injury, all right?
I don't know why on earth this happened to my son, and something so serious and so tragic. With Sonny, he is too young to really understand, but he will grow up knowing what's happened to his older brother. I hope that he'll still be able to grow up and be carefree and just happy.
The biggest concern to us was his kidney. It was obvious that he was leaking blood into his body, and obviously that was going to have certain effects. They kept on saying, if we don't see any, movement in the next 12 hours, then we're going to have to go in and remove it. I had mixed emotions about him getting back on the bike, but you can't become an overly controlling parent because something bad happened.
Hey buddy, how'd you do?
Hiya.
Coming home felt so good. It's good to be around family. So I think the timing, it definitely brought us closer together because everything else that kind of wasn't really important faded away.
The whole time we were in the major trauma unit, there was a police officer there because they thought he was going to die and they were dealing with a murder. It was the day the police officer said, "Oh, I can go." And I thought, oh my gosh, that means that they think he's stable enough that they're not going to lose him. The kids had all made him cards and we were glad to be home. It felt strange, though. The area in which we'd always felt so safe felt a little less safe. But kids need to be out under the sky. They need to be climbing trees. They need to be having fun with friends. It's precious.